A very good morning to all of you lovely people. The summer is setting in and it's time to make full use of the rays for getting your full dose of vitamin D. And of course, all the ladies to start preparations for making their delicious and pungent pickles, mango, tomato, amla and whatnot. Not forgetting the papads and odiyalu, which is preserved and used for the whole year. However, please avoid being in the direct rays of the sun for long. Hence, early mornings is the best time for your dose of vitamin D, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. I was told that one should expose their elbows and shins of the leg to the sun for about 10 minutes to get their complete dose. It is absorbed the best from these 2 points of the body. You may like to try. Hey, I'm sorry. The topic is not health and wellness, but wanted to share this important information with you. I extend a very warm welcome to Jagan Varanasi, Mr. Pradeep Dovle, Dr. Barla, all the invitees here, and our Bhadrachalam Silvas and their family members. Oh wow, we have a young Turk, Jagan Varanasi, the guy who has been so benevolent to extend this platform to us every Sunday for our meeting. Thank you, Jagan. Paper is education, paper is protection, paper is hygiene, paper is prosperity. All these above coined by none other than our Dr. Barla. As the topic for today is the trends in paper industry. Now for introduction of our young speaker, Mr. Jagan Varanasi, a very nice and spiritual name. Jagan graduated from Andhra University in 1998 and his first job was at ITC PSPD. He joined in February 1999. He completed his PG diploma in business management from XLRI, Jamshedpur, and master black belt in Six Sigma from ISI Bangalore. Jagan worked with ITC PSPD at Bhadrachalam for 12 years in product development and QISD. Thereafter, 3 years in APP China, based at Kunshan. Was responsible for sales and marketing for Europe and America markets, for aseptic packaging, specialty, downstream and luxury packaging products. Jagan is presently Deputy General Manager and has been working with Orient Links Company Limited, LLC, UAE, since the last 7 years, focusing on Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, Turkey, South Africa and America's markets. Quite a career of professional growth and wide scope. So over to you, Jagan. The platform is yours and literally it is yours.
Thank you very much, Krishnaji. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. And it's a pleasure to see everyone over there here. Often seen after a long time, many of my friends, seniors, colleagues. And thanks for DCM Silvers for giving me an opportunity to just share some of the views on the current trends that are prevailing in paper industry market. I can say in the current scenario, paper industry is having its biggest boom ever of the rising pulp prices, paper prices, heavy demand or heavy surge in demand of folding box boards, duplex boards, container boards. So this is really going on very well. This is like a ride for paper industry now. And we hope this will continue till next 3-4 months. So time to make more profits for the paper industry for all the losses they have made in the last year of 2020 because of the pandemic. In the last, starting from December onwards, there's a serious surge because of, thanks to China again, there's a lot of demand, in-house demand or domestic demand in China that pulled up the surge, and it is still continuing. Anyhow, I'll just start with the presentation. It's just a small presentation, and everybody know all the details, which because all of us are from paper industry, and we know most of the things. But I'll just make an attempt now. Basically, it's not paper industry trends, but the trends that are influencing the paper industry in the year 2021. And we all know, I just kept a small small point there, like paper is bad for the environment, which is the myth that has been prevailing ever since we started in industry. But in fact, paper is one of the few truly sustainable products. And that is how it has been now. That is one of the main influencing trend that is making huge demand for paper products in the markets. And before we go inside, this is a small video I've seen. It is up to your imagination. You can see whatever you can perceive from this. It's just an imagination. You can left to your imagination. Small video on life of paper.
Yeah.
This is just an imagination. It's left to all of our imagination. And what I perceive from this is like paper is in every sphere of our life, starting from birth till we end. We can see paper in every sphere of life, round the clock. Okay. Coming back, just given an industry growth, projection, and demand, and the current paper industry scenario, which is prevailing in few points. The total estimated size of global production of pulp and paper by the end of 2021 will be 490 million tons. But till end 2020, it is around 460. But by the end of 2021, it is estimated to be around 490 million tons. And as usual, China is leading, and it is the largest paper producer by far, with a production of around 110 million tons in 2018. And United States is second, followed by Japan. And China's paper production outweighs all other paper producers. And this helps us, Asia, to be the global paper production, means dominate the global paper production in all products with a 47% market share. And when broken down by grades, of course, container boards as the corrugated material accounts for the largest share of the paper produced worldwide, and even in consumption also, which is to be around 40%, followed by printing and writing paper, which is the second most produced paper grade, accounting for approximately a quarter of the global production. Then followed by folding box board, means the container board, means the folding boards and duplex boards, and specialty papers. This is just a glimpse of how the growth and what is the demand in the current scenario. And the structure of the industry landscape is slowly changing, which used to be printing and writing and printing dominated, is slowly going towards the packaging actually. But the accumulation of changes over the long term has now reached a point where they are making a difference. You can see here, this is like HHI index, where distributed among North America, Western Europe, and Asia. At the container board segments, you can see how the demand has been going. The less than 1,000 is going to be the highest demand actually. And you can clearly see in Western Europe and Asia, the demand for the container boards is growing rapidly. Similarly, uncoated wood free, the demand is also there in Asia, and it has been declining a little bit over there in North America and Western Europe slowly. Coated wood free, which also includes label segment, that is having a huge surge in North America with the labels and the printing segment, especially the sticker segment, going up and up. Tissue is the next segment, which is also very, very high. Means this is actually in terms of like concentrated zones. If you see here, I think this is blocking up. Are you able to see the complete slide?
Top is a little bit blocked.
Top is blocked. Huh? Okay.
Yeah. But you can continue, but I am not understanding these graphs, Jagan. What is this?
Okay, that's the reason. Let me share with just a second. Now you can see the complete slide.
No, the top is still blocked.
Okay,
now it's better. Yeah.
Okay.
So what is that HHI index? Can you explain?
Okay, sir. This is like a Herfindahl-Hussman index basing upon like the competitiveness and how the concentration of the production is there for a particular area in a particular zone. So it demands, it shows about the market demand and how competitive the product is and whatever is the concentration of the product. So you've got two.
So what is the number? The number is tons, is it?
It's just an index, sir. It's just an index.
Oh, it's just an index. Okay.
It's just an index. For example, if you go for North America, when you see a 932 on container board, if it is less than 1,000, the demand is high. If it is less than 1,000, the demand is high.
Okay.
It's just an index showing both concentration and competitiveness. And now let's come back to the main topics here, like which trends are influencing paper and pulp and paper industry as on date. So the digital revolution, online sales, lightweight packaging, recyclable products, hygiene products, specialty paper market growth, food packaging, and anti-plastic segments. These are the elements which are heavily influencing on the current pulp and paper industry. When we come to digital revolution, this has given a heavy impact for the graphic paper segment, and this demand on graphic paper segment will continue to face decline. But this substituted with packaging because there is a huge demand in packaging, both in industrial as well as consumer applications. And for the purpose of analyzing the industry trends, you need to optimize the result of all departments like this. Means digital revolution, I forgot to mention over there, the usage of big data, Internet of Things, or Industry 4. This is what is helping to optimize the results of all the department across. And this is what is also helping in transforming the paper industry in 2021. Capabilities will continue to develop smart systems and enhanced products. And this is what is the market demand, if you see for the paper now, across the grades. The growth actually, we expect the growth. Wherever that is solid, minimal growth has been expected. There is not much growth, and especially you can see that has been there much in the graphic paper segment across the continents of the countries. But if you see in tissue, China and other Asia has got a huge scope of demand. This is just an addendum to the other previous slide. Similarly, in packaging papers, there is a lot of potential, both in cotton board and container boards also. Just a glance.
Jagan, one question. This slide is showing newsprint included. Whereas your initial slides of 490 million tons and all does not include newsprint, isn't it?
It includes, sir. That 490 million tons also include newsprint, sir. That is overall global, both pulp and paper production, total, sir.
Oh, I see. It includes newsprint because you mentioned
largest grade
is craft, then writing printing, and newsprint was not mentioned at all.
Newsprint also comes in the nice writing and printing, sir.
Oh, I see. Okay.
They just taken into writing and printing grades.
Okay. Carry on. Okay.
And with pandemic triggering over there in last year, that triggered a lot of changes in the consumer behavior as well as in the production, especially in the consumer behavior. So which triggered a lot of online shopping for all the consumers. And this is going to have lasting effects on the market, even if the pandemic is also closed. We feel that the online sales will continue to rise up further. Online purchases rise, but consumer spending falls a little bit. But this is not impacting anything on the packaging. This may only give more. Why I kept this line, because this will give more demand onto the packaging. Because the consumer may be buying on and on. He will not be stocking up once. He'll be buying in different small lots. Just for our understanding, online sales last year has gone for 100 billion parcels only in 2020. This happened for the first time. It used to be around 60 billion parcels, or in terms of I'm saying shipments, parcels or couriers. 100 billion parcels have been gone last year actually, only in 2020, which is too high. And this happened for the first time in the last so many years of started of the courier services. And growth encompasses a higher demand of raw materials and corrugated boxes. So on increased online sales, basically increased online demand online sales basically increases the demand in the corrugated products. An increase in products that are required for immediate with very little lead times. Whereas because online deliveries say that we want it today, we want it tomorrow. When we order it, we say that, okay, we want the material today. We want the material by tomorrow. So they need the turnover of the product is very fast. And this is also helping container boards, especially in the corrugated line segment. Then that's the reason we can see a lot of shortage in the market as on date. Because of there is no raw material coming into the market faster. Okay, there are several reasons for that, but corrugated products, there is a huge demand in the market now. Even people are exporting from India to countries like Brazil, Peru, and Argentina. And now we can imagine, with all the freight costs included and everything, how the product is going on there. Though they are also producing a lot of corrugated raw materials, they still import a lot from India. Not only from India, but India is also being exporting there a lot now. I'm just explaining that for you. You can see this is just a small stats on which products have been between just a minute. Since the outbreak of COVID-19 in 2019 and 2020, you can see almost everywhere we can see an increase, except for tourism and travel and hotel bookings. All products you can see an increase in terms of between 2019 and 2020. Whether it is cost. This is from McKinsey, sir, actually.
Okay.
The next trend, which is really creating a small sort of a revolution in the paper industry, is lightweight packaging. People are going, packaging has been evolving day in and day out. A lot of innovations are going on in the market by all the corporate giants, because they want lighter, durable versions so that they can cut down on long term on shipping costs, on consumption, more efficiency, benefit to the environment, all these things, and reduce carbon dioxide emissions. So lightweight packaging is going to be the next key, and folding box boards, especially in the segments like folding box boards, high bulk folding box boards, and high bulk papers. These will be the next future, in the coming future. When people started avoiding PE grades, they want to replace with barrier barrier coatings, which will be recyclable. We will be coming in the next slide. But lightweight packaging is going to be the next innovation, and we hope we see a lot of improvement in 2021. Recyclable products. Of course, paper is recyclable, but when we see a composite material coming back, like like with PE coated materials or PET coated materials, which will be used for Tetra Pak and all those grades, they have got a lot of ancillary materials supported to the paper. And these are, most of them are not recyclable or biodegradable. Like maybe when you see like aluminum coming into the picture or PE coming into the picture, most of them are not biodegradable and recyclable. So these ancillary materials covers to be almost like 27% of these food packaging or other products. Going to be, and this is going to be a non-negotiable requirement for most of the consumers in future. They will be saying that it should be 100% recyclable. And even now also, when we are going to supermarket or any other places, we prefer to buying like 100% recyclable product or made from 100% recyclable material or 100% biodegradable. These are going to be the key things which we are going to see in future. And in 2021, last year, most of the corporates have already announced, like by 2025, they want to go out by 60% reduction of plastic or 70% reduction of plastic, and what is the path forward and all those stuff. Industry giants are really moving towards 100% recyclable packaging. And last month, Carlsberg has announced for a paper-based beer packing bottle, which is absolutely, I can say, a revolution in the market, because packing a carbonated drink in paper packaging is absolutely impossible. Nobody has even thought that it can be possible. We even, for example, when I'm working in Lamiken, we worked out for this project almost like 2 years continuously, and we failed out in each and every aspect, because containing gas over there in a paper product or in a paper packaging product or a Tetra Pak product or an yellow pack, it's absolutely impossible. But Carlsberg has really done a great work on that. So this is just the beginning for the future. Similarly, we can see over here, meat packaging directly in paper, which we have not imagined 6 years back that can be possible without PE. Now, without PE, only with barrier coating, we can pack meat directly and keep in a freezer. BASF, this is one more, I just kept it over here. BASF has joined hands with Billerud and developed a laminate sticker without any plastic material inside that. So only with barrier coatings, they've done that. So this is going to be like the next feature, and we can see a lot of opportunities that are going to come. I just want to show a small video on
who you mentioned, Billerud along with whom, Jagan?
BASF, sir.
BASF, okay.
BASF in Germany. They just started a laminate actually. It's just a paper laminate that can be used out for direct taping and all those stuff without any plastic content in it. It's basically used in paper labels and stickers, sir, mostly.
Oh, not yet packaging?
No, not sir. No.
Okay.
There's just a small video on Nestle showing out their commitment towards 100% recyclable packaging.
Barla, we should ask Abhijit to conduct one session. Huh?
Yes, we should.
That Jagan will handle, sir. Jagan is in touch with Abhijit.
Okay.
I will ask him. That's the reason I kept Nestle. So that I will,
Whatever is in public domain. I mean, they have a lot of confidentiality things, but whatever is in public domain, they can share.
That's what he explained to me.
Yeah.
So I told him whatever is in public domain and whatever he can share, he can be make a presentation on maybe like packaging trends or whatever it is.
Yeah, correct.
This is about the commitment given by Nestle that by 2025 they will be reducing 1/3 of their plastic consumption, especially virgin plastic consumption. So similarly, Unilever has made a commitment by 2027 they will be reducing 40% of their plastic consumption. Everybody, all corporate chains are making their commitments to show that recyclable products are not there in the system at all. Means recyclable products are only there in the system. This is one which nobody has anticipated that this can be a big influencer for paper industry. Hygiene products packaging. Because we have seen a lot of hygiene products coming into the system, but the usage of hygiene products, especially in Asian countries, have increased almost like 4-fold by last year. In 2020, they've increased by 4-fold. The consumption of tissues, napkins, wet wipes, sanitizers, masks. So they've increased almost like 4-fold, which is also one point where the packaging demand is adding to that. That means this added to the increased packaging demand. I don't have a figure right because right in my hand to say how much of the packaging material that will be going for hygiene products, but this will be a huge figure, I can say. Because I can just take an example of UAE as such or Middle East as such. The amount of duplex board, the quantity of duplex board that is used for making tissue boxes is to the tune of, in a month, they'll be using not less than 10,000 tons per month, only for making tissue boxes. That is also duplex board. And this is the complete low segment of the hygiene products. So we can imagine how the rest of the product segment will be. And similarly, I have one more example here. I never thought that a wrapping paper like 18 grams poster or a 20-gram poster can be used further to wrap a toilet roll. That means all the premium toilet rolls have got a wrap on the top. That itself is a big industry in whole, I can say, Middle East and Africa, because I've been watching over Middle East and Africa market for a long time. Only that small segment where we will be wrapping niche toilet tissues, each individual tissue, that itself accounts for almost like 400 metric tons, 400 to 600 metric tons in a year. Wrapping paper of 18 grams to 20 grams. So it's left to our imagination how this will be going forward, how this will be in the coming years. So this is quite an influential factor for 2021 in terms of packaging. Specialty paper is the next segment, which has been growing rapidly and very, very fast. It's going at a speed of almost like 5.4 to 6% CAGR. And everybody know what a specialty paper is, which refers to a special grade of a paper which possesses specific properties and characteristics for a specific requirement only. But even then, this has been racing ahead compared to the other grades. And to my expectation, by 2030, as per PIRA, this will surpass even the writing and printing grades also. Label and release papers account for the major volume of global market. And when I say label paper, it includes everything: beer labels, wine label, normal, all label papers. It includes everything. And release papers. Release paper means easy to peel. These account for the major volume of the global market. An estimate of 6 million metric tons growth in 2020, between 2021 and 2018. It used to be approximately around 28 million tons, if I'm not wrong. That used to be the global consumption for specialty paper. It has gone up to 34 million tons in the span of 3 years. So now you imagine how the growth is racing ahead, and how adding 6 million tons in specialty paper, you can imagine how many paper industries have been coming over there, how many converters have added over their growth over there into that. This is going to be the huge market for everyone, actually. A small report given by one of the surveyor, they're saying that this is going at a 3.8% CAGR between 2020 to 2027. And sorry, let me keep it down. Yeah, this is better. 30.3% of the total specialty paper market is occupied by fillers, raw materials, and subsegments. Of course, when they add like a silicone coating, or when they add the barrier coating onto that, or when they add a glue like a PVC glue or a water-based glue onto the top, these are all the filler-based special raw materials which are ancillaries for the specialty paper. And this is 30.3% of the total specialty paper market. There is a separate market for specialty paper chemicals and ancillaries. That itself is a big market again, which has also been growing rapidly. And you can see an increase in demand for the environmentally friendly recycled papers, and expanding scope of specialty paper for application is expected to further boost the market demand. Just giving a small example, there is a small mill in India in Calcutta, Sri Krishna Papers, where they produce greaseproof papers on unbleached, I cannot say unbleached, recycled brown greaseproof papers. Their, how can I say, in terms of their quantity exports, they used to export only 15-20 tons per month before 2 years back, and with their small machine. Now they are even like exporting almost to the level of 150 to 200 tons of greaseproof paper, which is a huge quantity actually. In the grammage of 38 grams and all the 38, 35, 40 grams. But globally, 38 grams is greaseproof paper is 38 GSM is standard. And they're exporting from 20 tons, they've been exporting to 200 tons. And see the amount of infrastructure they might have added to their segment. They're not making any virgin grades, but in the recycled grade. When I see the first line, I'm just saying. So people are, if consumer is really looking into environment friendly, when we go into a market, if you see something environment friendly, immediately it is attracting our eye, or it is catching our eye to catch it up. So this is one thing which is going to be the future. Specialty papers definitely are going to be the future, whether it is any segment, whether we say deco paper, pharma papers, greaseproof papers, craft paper.
Jagan, does the liquid packaging fall under specialty?
Specialty paper, liquid packaging is completely a different segment, sir. Liquid packaging.
Okay.
Comes under beverage packaging. So specialty paper is specifically what I'm mentioning over, sir. It doesn't fall under the specialty. We see a substantial, we definitely anticipate a substantial growth both all across the continents, means all across the regions, whether it's Asia Pacific or Europe or Americas. There is a substantial growth because it is not completely tapped up, and new requirements are coming. I can explain at the end of the presentation how the new, everything is actually collaborated. When I've given you the influential factors, the digital revolution is collaborated, the food packaging is collaborated, means they have a relation. Everything is related to each other. That's how the market has been booming up now for 2021. And Asia Pacific, specifically, if you see, there is a growth in Asia Pacific, especially for the special papers, specialty papers, with a CAGR of around 6%, which is absolutely very high. And we can see very soon that we will be using more of paper-based packaging products, or rather than plastic or any other products. Only challenge, especially in terms of packing spices or all these powders, the only challenge when using paper is like moisture vapor transmission rate, the MVTR. I think people are really researching so fast on that, so they can also come out of the only barrier of MVTR. So if MVTR has been okay, then paper can be used in most of the products.
But that's a big if.
That's a big if, sir. Yes. But with the barriers, with the barriers coming in picture, maybe that may be possible, sir, because a lot of new barriers are coming with the nanotechnology. So that will be definitely an advantage. Even with nanocellulose, that is going to be also the new future. But that will take some time because not many manufacturers are available so far in globally. But that is also going to be the next revolution in the paper market. Similarly, so just to give us broad, the same slide, just to give a broad idea, packaging and labeling counter for almost like 37.76% of the specialty paper segment. And dermal papers, which is also come under specialty paper, has also boomed up because of pandemic. The reason is a lot of usage of what do you call plastic currency, the credit cards. People want to buy, they don't want to use cash, they don't want to change the cash from their hand, and non-touch technologies. And even when you're going in Uber or taxis, you only want to pay by credit cards instead of giving cash and taking cash. This is just an example, and most of POS counters. So thermal paper requirements are also gone too high. So this has been 70% of all thermal papers what are used across various segments. The retail segment means the shopping malls or all the retail segment accounts for 70% of the thermal papers. And this is what I'm explaining. 6.46 million metric tons of incremental growth between 2016 to 2021. You can see, I told 2018, I'm sorry, between 2016 and 2021, which is too high. That means 1 million ton is being added every year, almost. Next is food packaging. We have been seeing this food packaging. If we cover between 2020 and 2021, food packaging has been like undergoing so many changes. So many things are coming into the market. So we have seen, this is just a glance of what kind of packages are available directly by direct contact, indirect contact. Why I kept brown here? Brown is the new green, actually. This is one. This is the slogan. What has been going on in whole Middle East and Africa? Brown is the new green. If you go to any McDonald's or KFCs or Hardee's over there here, you can see a lot of brown burger boxes because people want to go into that. This is the new revolution which is coming into the market. People are feeling brown is the new green. So when they see brown, the subconscious mind refers to like this is mostly recyclable grade, or this is like environmentally friendly grade. That's what it is getting developed. This is going to be one of the new, or I can say, going to add upon more market value coming over there in the next 2-3 years. The global food packaging market size is valued at $305 billion. It may be more because this is just a statistical figure. When we go into different reports, each report states differently. FIRA states that it is $753 billion. Some others say $600 billion. But just for an idea, actually, to understand the growth rate. So it says that in 2019 is $305 billion, and they expect the growth to be around $465 billion by 2027. I'm only talking about food packaging grades. I'm not talking about the content inside. I'm only talking about the grade, that means the packaging used, the packaging material used over there here. And poised to be grow at a compound annual growth rate of around 5.4% during the forecast period of 2020 and 2027. So this is also very high, and the need for green food packaging solutions is rising to attain sustainability. So people are tending towards more into paper-based alternatives or any other alternative which is more sustainable. This is the market share of packaging material, because when I say this, we need to understand how food packaging material has been graded out. Paper and board accounts for 34% of the food packaging grade material. Rigid plastics account for 27% of the material. Glass accounts for 11%, flexible plastics accounts for 10%, and beverage cans account for 6%, and other accounts for 9%. So this is how it is totally been distributed. This is total market share of the packaging material based wise. Now,
Jagan, that is by tons, not by value.
yes, sir, this is by tons, sir. This is by tons.
Right. By value, flexible plastics would be far higher, I think.
Very, very high, sir. Because
here it gives the impression that flexible plastic is only 10%.
No,
but value it will be very high.
Absolutely,
right.
Sir. Because the weight of flexible plastic is nothing when we compare with board and plastic.
Correct. Okay.
Anti-plastic sentiments is causing actually indirectly or directly for the demand in paper in the pulp and paper industry, or is going to be the more influential factor for the pulp and paper industry. Wherever single plastic ban is there, people are trying to move towards more sustainable packaging applications. This is just one of the influential factor. No need to explain much over there in this. Everybody knows like how. Just to give it some small examples, I just given like some of the corporates how they have done it. Like if you see, Boots have announced that they don't have, they use 0 plastic bags from 2020 onwards. They eliminated everything. So they don't. If you go to a Boots pharmacy or a medical shop, you will only see a paper bag. You will not see a plastic bag over there. That's just a starting. And if you see the whole network of Boots pharmacy all across the globe, that itself may account for almost like 100 to 200 tons per month. Because seeing about like how many pharmacies they have got across the globe. Similarly, Kraft Heinz have replaced the outer cover. They used to have a plastic cover on the top, and they replaced the plastic cover only with KLB, Kraftliner board, and that is like paper again. And that has been done. They have replaced entire product line. So Kraft Heinz, if you see only for their segment on the sauces and everything, that itself is a huge add-on actually. Alternate materials, we all know, glass, paper, and board are only focused to replace plastic. And again, this is again having a direct relation with what we have discussed upon, the recyclable materials or the sustainable materials. In one way, everything, the growth, what we are seeing, especially in the paper segment now or board segment now, is related to sustainability and eco-friendly. These are the two jargons that you can see anywhere, any of the corporates that have been going on. Like they will be only mentioning those points to read on and read on. That's it, sir. Thank you very much. And before going to the last segment, just to give an idea, how much of plastic packaging is produced annually by few of the top conglomerates. Like Coca-Cola uses around like 2.9 million tons of 2.9 million tons of plastic. Pepsi uses 2.3 million. Nestle uses 1.7 million. Danone uses 820,000. Unilever 700,000. So imagine this whole thing has been. I'm sure they cannot replace the whole thing with paper or glass or any other alternate material. But at least if 10% or 20% also comes out of this, so imagine how much paper production or the paper materials will be used. So this is the most influential factor. Next coming in line in the coming 6-7 years, we can see. So we can see a lot of paper coming out into the market. Thank you very much, sir. So any questions?
You can stop the screen share, I think. Yeah.
Jagan, there's Deepak here. Very good presentation. Thank you so much. Just one clarification that I had. I just wanted to understand, maybe I don't have that background. In Dubai, I mean, this is more like sales and marketing office, or do we have some factories or production related things as well?
Yeah, in UAE, actually, I will not say Dubai. In UAE, of course, there are production, paper productions are there. Basically, they have started with tissue, like Crown Paper Mill, Abu Dhabi Paper Mill. They are all having tissue production over there here. And then recently, with Etihad Paper Mill coming out into the picture, they have opened up a 200,000 tons paper mill over there, which is only for writing and printing paper. They have challenges in terms of like water, in terms of like pulp, because everything they need to only procure from outside, but still they're surviving out. And UAE produces one of the best quality tissue. Our Abu Dhabi paper mill produces one of the best quality tissue. Other than the satellite offices like all the traders who are there, but they also produce a lot of paper.
Craft as well, isn't it?
In terms of quantity, if you
recycle brown grades also, no, Jagan?
Yes, sir. Union Paper Mill produces recycled
Union, yeah. Correct.
Union is there, Crown is there. They all produce.
But Orient Links is a marketing organization.
It's only a trader, sir. We are into
trading. Right.
A lot of converting units are there in UAE.
Abu Dhabi?
Pardon, sir?
Yeah, where exactly this is in Abu Dhabi, this factory?
See, there are different factories. Union Paper Mill, for example, if you're talking about Browns, Union Paper Mill has got 2 units. One is in Dubai and one is in Kizad. It is a port area, like free zone area. They got one factory over there. And Abu Dhabi Paper Mill is just in the place of Abu Dhabi only. This is also near to Musafa area. They got an paper mill.
Okay, sure. Thank you. I think we have grown a lot. What do you say? 98 I left. Okay, good to know. So thank you so much. Great presentation. Thank you.
Any
Thank you,
questions,
Jagan.
sir? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Excellent presentation. It was so, we were all glued to our screens. It was so interesting. And what you spoke about industry growth and how everything has changed and how China is still leading in packaging. And there are a lot of things which, and your videos are really very cute and gave us the message. And there's a lot of numbers. I'm sure everybody would have liked everything. Thank you so much. A lot more I've learned from all this, but I leave it open to the, paper industry leaders over here to ask for more details and questions and clarify their doubts. I think you've given a very good roundup. Thank you so much. I mean, it's just giving a feel-good feeling that the paper industry and PSPD is going to do well in future. Thank you very much.
In 2021, they will rock, no doubt in it.
Yeah, we are going to rock, and I think it's been good for the paper industry. So, thank you so much. Please, I would request, Mr. Pradeep Dhoble to please give his.
Thank you, Christy. Thank you, Jagan. I think what shall I say, full of data, statistics, and insights. More important, because data is statistics you get from literature, some published material along, but the insights are very, very useful and are a good compilation. As you rightly said, we have heard of some of these things here and there, but you put it in a structure which makes understanding far better and more impactful, So thank you for that. 1 or 2 points I wanted to add to this, in your list of what is driving the future, some 10 items you had listed out. So I found only anti-plastic sentiment there. Personally, I would like to put sustainability as in a more comprehensive manner, because anti-plastic is only one element of sustainability. There are several other elements of, because what paper industry has to fight, it is still a common man on the street still feels that paper industry cuts trees, And therefore, there is a feeling that, okay, now plastics, but paper, that they also cut trees and all. So the industry needs to do, all the leaders in the industry need to do a lot of PR work with general consumers. Because we are a B2B industry, we sell to another industry, we feel that marketing is, why spend money on marketing? Might as well go across to Parkson and sell your paperboard. What's the point in putting an advertisement in the newspaper or television or Facebook or whatever, Instagram? But I personally, I feel the industry has to start doing it, and the smaller mills cannot do it. It has to be done by large companies who are making thousands of crores of profits. So they should allocate a small percentage of their profit to creating general awareness about the sustainability of this industry, because Our raw materials are regenerative. None of the other industries' raw materials you can generate again, and trees you can keep on generating again and again. We have a very strong story to tell. We have to spend some money and bring that buy-in. Otherwise, in overall scheme of sustainability, the common man is still feeling that paper industry is cutting forests. So that is one point I wanted to make. Second point I wanted to make is people feel that it's a easy ride for paper industry now. Plastics will get replaced by paper.
Absolutely.
Let me assure you, there is so much of research going on in the plastic industry and the raw materials of plastic, which is the petrochemicals, to find the answer to these problems. So just as we are saying paper does not have MBTR, so by coating and all we will do it, they are doing so much research. I believe some kind of bacteria or some kind of biomaterial can eat away the plastics, eat away the plastic. Yeah. So that kind of research is also happening. So we cannot take it lightly. Our competition is not only among our peers, other paper companies. We have a long-standing competition with the plastic industry, and those guys are running full-page ads that 1 ton of paper needs so many cubic meter of water to do. Whereas because that's our weakness, and 1 ton of plastic doesn't need so much water. Like that, they run full-page ads. So we have to be very careful about this industry, and they have the support of all the biggies. Mr. Ambani, I'm sure he doesn't like these ads which say that use paper bags and don't use plastic bags. Because so somebody like him supporting, influencing the government, I think it's a long haul for us to say that the plastics get banned and the paper industry will benefit from that. People like Nestle, and they are using their word very carefully. See, they are not saying we will consume 30% more paper. So we cannot calculate because Nestle is saying 30% less plastic means it will come to paper. No. Plastic industry, if you're using 100 grams of bag, if you use 70 grams of bag, you have reduced 30%. Same plastics. But they improve the strength properties of plastic so much that the bag, instead of consuming 100 grams, it consumes only 70 grams. So I thought I'll make some of these points, and in our study of literature and what's happening around the world, we have to keep a watch on what the plastic industry is doing. Just like in the paper industry itself, competition, what kind of board machine JK is putting up is as important to us as our own growth in board manufacturing, So similar to that, what plastic industry is doing also needs to be watched very carefully by paper industry. Sorry, it took too long, Christine. But I thought it's important to give a completeness, fullness to this presentation.
Yes, sir. I'll just definitely add up on, sir. Because plastic industry is also going on double throttle just to find innovative ways for biodegradation. And they're also going for recyclability or replacement. Even they're going for many things. Some of my friends are there in the plastic industry. They say all these things like how innovatively they're thinking now.
Right.
I'll definitely add up. Thank you, sir.
So Christine, give me 1 more minute. I see an invitee here, Mr. Shivaraman. Shiva, can you put your video on? So this is my friend. Please unmute yourself.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Shivaraman, my friend from Printing and Packaging Division. Shiva, you're retired, is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I saw his face and I said, this is our Shiva. I was wondering why the video is not on. So I got it confirmed that it is him only. So thank you for joining our session.
Thank you, sir.
He is a great safety environment EHS expert, and we work together in PPD. So that is how I know Mr. Shivaraman. Right, over to you, Christine. We can get his comments also later on. You can make your comment now itself, Shiva, if you want.
Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Please go ahead.
No, I think it's a good presentation. It's for me also, refreshing to get some insights. So I will, 1 or 2 small things I would like to do with Jagan offline, because I heard something about users of corrugation not using PSPD materials. So I just want to leave him with the feedback, and maybe we can work on it offline.
Right.
That's it. Okay, sir.
I don't
Okay,
know.
sir.
I do not know enough about it, so therefore, it's not fair on my part to, I'll talk about it to him separately. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I see
Right,
you
right.
sometimes in Mr. Rajshekar's sessions on business clinic.
Right,
Thank you, sir.
right. Okay.
Nice
Glad
meeting
to
you,
see
sir.
Same here.
Thank you, Mr. Sivaraman. You have all the liberty to go ahead with Jagan later.
Actually, I must thank Mr. Prakash Pathak, who actually introduced me to this group. So thank you, Prakash.
Very good. He has
Thank you,
just made an
thank you.
appearance. We can
Thank
see
you.
Prakash now.
Thank you, sir, for that. Madhu, would you like to say a few words? Would you like to add to this? Please unmute yourself and.
Jagan, this is Madhu.
Hi, sir. Bagunara.
Hi, sir. Very, very nice information, and that information is very encouraging for me. In fact, as you said, December, January, February, markets are rocking. Hope another 3-4 months, if this continues, all the previous losses can be covered.
It will be, sir, because you have doubled the price already.
Yeah, almost 8,000 rupees per ton post lockdown. Just because of raw material. We don't have raw material in our stockyard, Jagan, actually. Very shortage.
So it's the availability, not the price.
Not
While
the
I'm
price.
talking to you, I've been seeing your product only.
Wow.
Oh, thank you. Thank you,
It's reached
Jagan.
Dubai. It's reached Dubai.
Let's hope for the best. That is craftliner, my craftliner, na?
LWC. 200 GSM LWC.
Okay. Let us hope for the best, Jagan.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
And session is
And
very
Krishna,
great, very encouraging for me. Thank you.
Just
Krishna,
hope,
we have Das Babu with us. Das Garu.
just hope,
Jagan,
just hope that there is no income tax officer in the group.
Thanks, Madhu. You're going big time, I can see. You've crossed the seas now. So
Thank you.
all the best to you, and see, Jagan, you've woken everybody on a Sunday morning. Everybody is so feeling truly charged now that you're making them, that there's a great future for the paper industry.
True.
Yes, Mr. Das Gupta, what you told me something. Yes, please go ahead, Mr. Prakash Pathak.
Yeah, thank you. Unfortunately, I could not listen to the whole presentation, but whatever portion I heard is wonderful, outstanding. I have got a lot of insight, and I will compliment Pradeep's observation that the whole business, everything is going to be driven with sustainability and environment-friendly products. Because even during the presentations by various units to National Safety Council on Safety Awards, we are making it a point, asking them how your environment friendly, whatever you are manufacturing is taken care, what is your consumption of water, energy per unit production, and whether you can sustain that, whether you can use whatever like a zero waste discharge, whatever you are taking in, how much you are consuming inside. So that is very much going to be a driving force for the business or even for the industry, whether it is a small or it is a big. Even for a small industry, if they say that they are utilizing someone else's waste as their raw material, I think that industry is going to be seen as a progressing industry. Thank you very much.
Jagan, you can respond.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Definitely, as I told to Pradeep sir also, I will make a point to keep it in the note. And sustainability is the next answer for all the questions where they say that paper is no more in, paper is not an eco-friendly product. So that only answers all the questions actually.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Prakash Pathak. Thank you, Jagan. And you have also very specifically specified in the presentation that the future of the paper industry is how sustainable and how environment friendly they are. So I think I'm sure every paper industry and every company is working on that very cautiously and, you know, with real zeal. Who would like to speak? Mr. Jogara has joined in. Mr. Jogara, would you like to speak? Your video is off.
Maybe sorry is on treadmill.
Mr. Jogara, are you there? No, I don't think so.
Add one.
Yeah, I'll just come in.
Yes, yes, yes. Sir, please go ahead, sir, Dr. Barla.
Yeah, thank you, Christine. First of all, compliments to Jagan for his excellent presentation.
Thank you, sir.
And glad to know that you are a product of XLRI Jamshedpur. And I know that getting into XLRI Jamshedpur requires 90 percentile and above. So by that itself, we know that you are a cat, and your presentation has also proven that. Secondly, your introductory video, The Life of Paper, is a fantastic eye-opener. It is bringing home the point that paper is going to be everything. Paper is going to engulf the human life and human civilization into so many contours that paper will become the predominant material, of course, of the past and more acutely in the future. That's a very powerful video. Thank you for bringing that video. And although the explanation in the video itself wasn't so, but then I could decipher that the video is very powerful, and it's showing the graphics which are pointers to say that paper is the life, paper is the civilization, paper is everything of the future. That's a very important video. Keep it up. And you have mentioned about the role of paper, and I would just to bring in the example of a study which we made in 1986 in Bhadrachalam paper boards about the future of packaging. I was posted in Bombay at Indian Institute of Packaging, Bombay, for about a month. I was supposed to go through all the archives, world over archives, and bring the data and interpretations. So at the end of the project, in the 1986 annual report, BPL was that although at that point of time, the 6 packaging materials, wood, metal, glass, plastics, jute, and paper, they had different percentages of volumes at that point of time. But our study revealed that in the next 50 years, from let's say 1985, paper and paperboard will become the predominant packaging material, and all other materials, all the rest of the 5 packaging materials will become the supporting media for the paperboard, which is the central packaging material. And your presentation has also brought about that same fact that today we are seeing the growth of paperboard industry. It is nice to reminisce and see the predictions which were there long ago and then which are really operating now and coming true. Increasingly, the paperboard industry, I'm not saying paper industry, but particularly the paperboard industry can look forward to champion the cause of the industry, and then conduct a lot of research to see that the paperboard as the medium and other packaging materials as the supporting will take predominant role. This requires a lot of research, a lot of investments. Projects have to be commissioned, and Coca-Cola, Pepsi, for example, have gone in for plastic for paperboard packaging. They are under trials. Nestle, you have already mentioned. So a lot of packaging companies are already taking trials and in the advanced stages of switching over to paper-based flexible packagings with paper as the central medium, other materials as the supporting media. So that trend is very important, and we should take it forward. The other point that you mentioned was the dominance lost by writing and printing paper and the dominance gained by packaging in the overall percentages of the production and marketing of the paper and other grades. My observation, I would like to read this conclusion with a small underlining note that the writing printing paper gets its demand from the cultural aspects, education, and the life of the mankind. So therefore, the mankind, if you see the social pyramid of the 7 billion people on the globe, you will find the top 10%, the next 10%, next 30%, and rest of it is the bottom of the pyramid. That bottom of the pyramid drives the growth of writing and printing as well as packaging. So it's very difficult for me to imagine that the writing printing paper will not have much demand. As an overall paper industry, writing printing definitely will have, we are only reading the current trends of the top 10%. Okay, digital will come, digital education, paperless offices. Paperless office we've been talking of since 1985. But then paper demand has grown. The growth of paper industry has been there, and particularly writing and printing paper has been growing because this is linked to the culture and the life of people, and the more of it is at the bottom of the pyramid. So therefore, textbooks will be there. Although the digital textbooks, the digital publications will happen in the top 10, top 20, top 30 percentile of the society, but then at the bottom of the pyramid, you do have the traditional mode of reading and writing that is going to be there. The traditional packaging is going to be there. The bamboo-based packaging, the wood, metal, glass, and things like that are still going to be. They may stagnate at a residual level and predominantly taken over by flexible packaging, and within that predominantly by paperboard. That will happen. But
a small time check, sir.
Yeah. Our focus should be on how we can substitute those materials into paper and paperboard. And the other point is 2021 has been exception. We should not be guided by the happenings of 2021. It is purely an exception. Maybe 21-22 is going to be a slightly an exception too. But then thereafter, the industry is going to rock again. So these are some of the observations, and your presentation has triggered a good debate. We are grateful for that, Jagan. Thank you for giving us the platform also. Your Zoom sessions are important. We request you to send us the videos very fast, as soon as you can, edited or unedited.
I will send it, sir. I'll send it.
Yeah, so that the people who make presentation would like to see and enjoy the next day itself. They are impatient about waiting. So that way, thank you very much. All the best. God bless.
Thank you, sir. Only one small correction here. One small note, not correction, sorry. One small note. Regarding the decline in the writing and printing segment of the demand, it is specifically for the graphic paper segment, sir, which is going for the advertising segment, mostly into the magazine and the advertising segment. That is into decline. But if you see under the writing and printing, there is a decline, but not to the extent what it has got affected in graphic paper. In wood free, if you're talking about under the notebook or under the textbook printing, they have been okay. The demand has not been declined to the extent like what we can see in the graphic paper segment. The graphic paper segment has seen a decline of almost more than 30%. Whereas in wood free, that is just seasonal. That sine curve is always there. It goes up, goes down. It's seasonal to every market. For example, in India, we can see between Jan, Feb, March, the season will thrive up for the wood free segment, basing upon the tenders, government tenders, and everything, the notebook segments. In South Africa, it may be between July, August, because of their Jan, Feb in the starting months. If you go to Turkey, it will be there in between September, October. So the segment always I've got some ups and downs. Only the decline has been seen in the graphic paper segment, and next one is newsprint. Newsprint has seen a heavy decline actually in terms of the demand. These two. Otherwise, overall market is in terms of wood free and other things, they have been okay. I will not say there is huge declines. And thank you very much for the feedback, sir. I will take a comment on that. I will make a note on that.
Yeah. Even for newsprint, the stagnation, if any, should be a temporary one. But then newspaper reading in the bottom of the segment continues, and the reports from the news industry also indicate that there is a good future for the newspaper reading, also textbooks and newspaper also. So newsprint definitely is going to come back as a part of the overall.
That's a good news, sir. But whatever I see in the current market,
you can hold your view, Barla, but that's not what the statistics shows worldwide. See, you have to look at lead indicators. How many new newsprint machines are being built in the world? And how many new packaging machines are being built in the world? Or even in India, forget about the world. Clearly tell you, because a paper machine takes 2 years to build. So if no newsprint machine is being built and so many are getting closed, the answer is very clear. It's declining. But you can hold your view that it will bounce back. It's a good view. I hope it bounces back from the industry point of view. At the moment, it clearly shows that graphic industry, there is a decline and the decline will continue. I'm not so sure about your bottom of the pyramid theory. They are all also ordering online. They are also all studying online now. So what are all of us doing? Our servants, their children, we are passing off our old laptops. Yeah, I have done it. Many of us have done it. So they are all equally getting digitally savvy now, and once they taste the benefits of going digital, it will happen fast. So I don't think just because people are poor, they will not go digital. Today, maid servant, she doesn't mind skipping a meal, but buying a smartphone, not just that. वाला ABC एक साथ में type करते उसको क्या बोलता था? The non-smartphone. What is it called?
Feature
phone. I forgot what it is called also.
Feature phone, sir.
But yeah, feature phone, yeah. But okay, we can have our views. But at the moment, the statistics doesn't say that newsprint is going to come back.
Yeah, the current statistics are the current statistics are available, and we are reading the current statistics.
Yeah.
But the views are different. The current statistics are driven by the current trends.
No, I'm giving you a leading indicator. How many newsprint machines are being built? Zero.
All the leading indicators, all the current statistics.
Even Imami newsprint also converted to writing printing.
Absolutely.
Just to add upon, sir, Rama newsprint used to be the best newsprint quality, one of the best. I will not say best, but one of the best in India. They converted their machine into completely writing and printing grade, and the newsprint machine they converted into the craft grade. They're selling craft at a higher price and the better price. 50-60 some crafts. And
anyway, this is not a debating session, so we can go to the next way. Jogara, I can see Jogara there, Christine.
Thank you, Dr. Barla, and thanks for taking us through from of the paper industry from 1985. And everybody's having their own views, but we'll go ahead with Mr. Jogara. Please go ahead, sir. And
yeah, sorry, Krishna, when you called last time, I was driving, so I parked back aside the road, and then.
So you are the don, sir. You are moving. Please go.
Jagan, I just have one little question. Having lived in Dubai for 11 years, I wanted to know, there's a huge MRF which came on the way to Jebel Ali in the industrial area on the left side when you're going from Dubai, with multi-layer conveyors separating plastics, metals, glass, everything. Is it still operational?
It's still operational, sir.
Oh, it's producing large quantities because it was given contract for the entire UAE that time.
Yes, sir. It's still operational, and that's where most of the waste is being generated. There are not many contractors who are dependent on that for the metal scrap, for all these things. It's still operational.
And they also used to have a lot of craft and newsprint in their waste, what they recover, you know.
Yes, sir. And just to make a point over there here, UAE has banned export of duplex cuttings and OCC and all these grades, banned their exports till mid of June of 2021 because there is a huge shortage here. So they want to support
the local mills need them. Yeah,
absolutely, sir. So they banned. So that's it. That's how they're doing it, sir, actually now.
And how is this Union Paper Mill collection drive going on?
It's going very well, sir. Now it's still going on. They got their
Okay.
zones all across UAE in different spots. It's still going on.
Okay. Great. Thanks, yeah. Thanks.
Thank you,
It's
sir.
a wonderful presentation. Quick update on the latest trends and the numbers. Very good.
Thank you, sir.
And how is Sanjay Mishra?
He's doing well, sir. He's fine.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I
Thank
have
you.
a point to make, sir. I want to ask one question to Pradeep sir as well.
Yeah, please go ahead, Surya. Thank you, Mr.
Sir.
Jogara.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You clarified your doubts about UAE because you were there a long time. So it made us all know that UAE is doing such kind of great works over there. And thank you, Jagan. Please go ahead, Surya.
Sir, my first observation is on plastics become replaceable with paperboard. I see there is still some time to come. Unless plastic become expensive, then paper cannot replace plastic wherever it is possible even now. Like the chlorine and caustic. If the chlorine consumption has come down, the caustic prices have shooted up. Similarly, I see the petroleum consumption comes down, the plastic prices will go up. So that time we may think of replacing plastic with, unless it is economically viable, many of them will not do. That is my opinion, sir. Maybe I just want to share my opinion so that I can be corrected. Then second thing is, why these tableware products are made with only bagasse pulp? Why not with hardwood pulp? That is one doubt I had since very long. And third one is how Russian log export ban is going to impact the whole pulp industry of world. How it is going to impact, because from next year Russia is stopping export of logs to Europe and China.
So,
Thank
Surya,
you.
I don't know. I have the answers to your questions because these are really big international developments. But still, let's take one by one. Plastics, you mentioned. But if the petrol consumption comes down, how will the prices go up? The prices will come down further.
No, sir. If you
Isn't
see
it?
the
If the
makers will
consumption,
still try
any
to make
product, if the consumption goes down, the prices will fall.
Sir, if you see the byproduct, if you whatever I observed in chlorine and caustic, the chlorine and caustic are byproducts.
No. Because correct. Because they are linked to each other. But
Yes, sir.
petrol and plastics is not like that. No?
I believe.
Yeah.
I believe after the plastic is coming from a byproduct of petroleum. It's wrong. Is it wrong?
No, it is
it
is a product. It's not a byproduct. It's a product of petroleum. Yes.
So,
but it's not like caustic chlorine. In caustic chlorine, if you produce X amount of caustic, Y amount of chlorine, I think Jogara can explain better because he's dealt with this very well. If you produce X amount of caustic, Y amount of chlorine will get generated whether you want it or not. So if the demand falls, you have to sell it at a very, very cheap price. Yeah. The chemistry is like that. You cannot produce one without the other.
kgs of chlorine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas plastic and petrol is not like
caustic.
Yeah. So that was one of your questions. Then Russian logs and all, I don't know. Joga, you have an answer to that. Russian logs ban. Will it affect the worldwide pulp industry?
I have some details. It will become a big presentation by itself. So we'll talk to you separately, Surya.
Okay. And you had one more question in between. Yeah, about the tableware.
Yes,
so
sir.
it's not true that Yash Paper produces tableware only from bagasse pulp. So that is their USP, you know. But there are other tableware manufacturers who are using imported pulp. It doesn't have to be bagasse. It can be produced with recycled paper as well. So that's the status. But in Yash Paper, because we have access to sugarcane bagasse, there are a lot of sugar mills in UP. So their decision is to produce on that, and they make a marketing advantage of that. You know, it's more environment friendly compared to making it with virgin pulp,
hardwood pulp.
Hardwood pulp, and it's more hygienic compared to waste paper. Every company has to fend for itself. So recycled is environment friendly, but recycled cannot be as hygienic as a bagasse-based virgin pulp.
Just to
thank
add
you.
upon here, Surya, just to add upon here, worldwide, most of the people use hardwood-based tableware products because bagasse is not available all over the world.
Correct.
So most of the people use
Correct.
hardwood-based tableware. Similarly,
Absolutely.
bagasse has got an environment-friendly advantage that it will, we can see in TNPL products also, where they specifically came, they're using bagasse-based wood free and all that stuff. So that helps out. And coming back to first point, like where you're talking about the petroleum-based PE grade products, there are two things like what Pradeep sir has told initially also. It's not only about price, it's also about the lightweight packaging. That means the light packaging. Plastic gives the advantage of lightweight compared to paperboard and paper. So that's the reason why people mostly depend on plastic rather than things. And it's more convenient. Compared to paper, they got so many specific conditions for storage, for printing, for blah, 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 and all those stuff. Plastic is, it's almost immune to any kind of environmental change. So they prefer plastic for that. So there are so many constraints or hurdles which will be facing sooner or later. The plastic has to be replaced with paper. Some areas, yes. Some areas, of course, there will be a big hurdle.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you.
I'm reading Surya's first question differently. What I'm reading is if the consumption of petroleum products goes down, what OPEC countries will do is the production they will cut down. They will increase or decrease the production and distribution depending on how much is consumed in each continent and in each country. So to that extent, what happens is when the production comes down, availability of petroleum products comes down, the polythene and plastic materials availability will also come down. If the availability comes down, with the packaging demand being same or increasing, the prices of plastic materials must go up. If this theory is correct, then what Surya probably would be saying, or I can read from Surya's statement, is that the prices of plastic materials will disproportionately go higher. That's the time when paper can substitute well. That is one point. Second point is the research being done by the plastic industry itself. Now the plastics are talking about biodegradable plastics. Already trials are over, packagings have come out with the biodegradable plastics. So then what happens is that biodegradable plastic becomes an efficient, cost-effective, competitive material for paperboard. So this trend would also have to be recognized by the paperboard industry. The plastic industry is not going to go out of competition, although we've been talking about last 30 years, but it has not gone, it's come in different forms. So I would hold the view that we need to be, although the wood and metal, glass may yield out, but then plastic is still going to be there, especially in the form of a bioplastic. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Surya and Dr. Barla and Jagan. On this bagasse topic, sir, Mr. Doble, I was wondering whether even it is economically much cheaper, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
That's fine.
It's cheaper if it is available as a surplus from a sugar mill.
Yeah, correct.
If you like a paper industry, if you want to grow sugarcane and make pulp out of that, it's not cheap. It's not cheap.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because fiber is longer.
Madam Christina.
Yes.
We have to give vote of thanks before Pradeep sir signs off.
Yeah, I was already going to say that. Thank you, Surya.
Yes.
Yeah. Anybody else, Rula, would you like to say something? Anybody else, very quick? Otherwise, we are planning to close the session.
No, we will continue, but we will.
You can continue.
We will complete vote of thanks.
Mr. Doble, please give us an indication when you're going away.
Indicated.
Ah. No, that's
Already
not
indicated. No,
no, then we have
12:30.
12:30.
12:30 is our time normal.
Yes.
Anyway, carry on. Don't worry about me.
No, Surya is
No, sir.
he says no, we have to close the session before you.
No, he's not saying that. He's saying complete the vote of thanks and then I'll sign off and you can continue. Like we always do.
Okay.
Yes.
Rula, please go ahead.
No, we were missing that in last few sessions, sir. That is what we discussed.
Yeah,
we both discussed.
Correct.
So shall I or?
No. He's Rula.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry, I just joined, so I couldn't attend the whole session. But so I nothing to say. You can carry on.
Okay. Thanks. Surya, you can go ahead, Surya.
Yeah, I request Lakshman Rao Garu. Wait.
Yeah, let him say something now.
Surya. Okay. 1 minute.
Yes.
No, to the question that asked about why tableware products are made of more bagasse than hardwood, I have a feeling that the fiber of bagasse is longer than the fiber of hardwood, at least the tropical hardwoods, if not softwoods. So what happens is the products made of bagasse in comparison with tropical hardwoods would stand better in terms of mechanical properties and other properties. Therefore, probably as a fiber composition, the makers of tableware are choosing bagasse, apart from other reasons that you already mentioned.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Marla, I would like to recheck whether bagasse fiber is longer than hardwood fiber.
It is.
I will check.
Okay.
Longer.
Lakshman Rao Garu, please go ahead, please.
Good afternoon to all silvers. Are you listening my voice, sir?
Yes, you are audible.
After the retirement of ITC PSPD, I have gained good knowledge from other industries that you are written the Coca-Cola and Hindustan Glass and Cogent Glass. I am the external faculty member of 7 years.
Lakshman Rao Garu, 1 minute, sir. 1 minute. Lakshman Rao Garu, 1 minute. Can you put your head a little back and speak, please? I think you're speaking into the speaker, so it's vibrating. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just try, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, please go ahead.
In the Coca-Cola, because I worked in Coca-Cola for 7 years, I conducted 5S and TPM classes and Cogent and other classes also. Before going to conduct the class, I have to meet the head of the department, head of the initiation. I asked one question to Coca-Cola. Why you are switch over to PET bottles from the glass? Naturally, Coca-Cola in the glass bottles. Still, the customers are thinking, I want the Coca-Cola filled in the glass bottle only, not in the PET bottles, in the requirements. But the cleaning of the glass bottles are very difficult. They spend crores of rupees for cleaning the bottles. When the bottles are returned from the customers, they are using like ashtrays and fill of kerosene and coconut oils like that, all nasty bottles. But cleaning purpose, they are spending crores of rupees. It's a loss to the company. But still people are asking the glass. Then ask her, why people are asking the glass? PET bottles are here. Nowadays, all thing is use and throw. That is very easy. So why people are asking the glass bottles? What is the reason? What is the customer's requirement? They are told, if you keep the Coca-Cola in the glass bottle or a milk in the bottle, it should be good. If you keep the same Coca-Cola in the plastic bottles, after the 15 days, there should be some change in the Coca-Cola drink. If you take in the glass bottle, entirely different from a PET bottle. That they have required. And when I asked the Cogent classes, why still people are pharma industries are asking in the glass only? Suppose is there. They want only in the bottle process only. They will not ask any plastic bottles. Nowadays, Cogent glass and Hindustan glass requirements are very high. Please fill the pickets and everything in the glass container only, not the plastic one. The taste will be go out. So such a way, the plastic is slowly going down in the Coca-Cola. They are using only paper corrugating boxes only they are using, but all the other only they are asking for glass only. But there should be a lot of problems from the glass. I will give a small example, a very beautiful example. For cleaning of the glass is very difficult. When the tip was damaged, recently they received a complaint. one drunkard person while drinking the Coca-Cola, his lip was cracked and the blood is coming down. He's giving a complaint to the Coca-Cola, because of your bottle, my lip was in this one. How much amount you are going to repay it? But recorrecting the glasses, they keep 400 calorie lappers. If the tip is not good, they have to remove the glass bottle and keep another bottle. So such a way, the cleaning of the bottle is very difficult. So, but people are asking the glass only. Slowly, Korean glass, all Hindustan glasses. I have gone through 7 years. I am observing their complaints and everything. People are interested in the things in the glass bottles only, where the material is very good. This is my opinion, which I am sharing because I work in Coca-Cola all throughout India, all units, continuously 7 years, not only 1 or 2 years, because I have to educate each and every operator. Because nowadays the Coca-Cola is coming as a welcome drink. Previously it is a Rasana. And Rasana is disappeared. Recently, one person has given one article on the paper industry. After the 100 years, paper industry will disappear. Then I asked her why it will be disappear. In the previously, the people have written all the things in the stone slates. After the stone slates, they have written the leaves. After that, then in the copper plates. After that, the paper is came. Like that, paper is also sometimes to be disappeared. They have told, because they are in the digital cyclone. Only packaging, other things only be depend upon the paper dish. All other things will be disappeared. Recently, I gone through an article that also I am sharing this happy moment. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to share my views in this regard. God bless you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Lakshman Rao.
Dr. Lakshman.
Thank you, Lakshman Rao.
Mr. Lakshman Rao.
Thank you, sir. I'm very happy to have this session. This session is long awaited. I was pushing Jagan since very long to have this session. Thanks, Jagan, for accepting. And it should have happened two weeks back, but today it happened. I'm very happy the way you shared the insights, and it is very educating. I request you to share the presentation in the group or to me, then I will circulate to all. Thank you very much for your time and also your inputs. Thanks to Pradeep sir for giving your valuable comments like always, and I could clarify a few doubts that I had since long today. And I thank Barla Garu for organizing this session and reminding us very frequently without any his perseverance is always we admire the way he pushed things around, and thank you for that. I also thank Krishna Garu for conducting this session so lively. Thanks to you for untiring responsibility that you are holding. Thank you very much. I also thank all other silvers who joined, like Jogara Garu and Das Garu and all other silvers, and few of our friends also joined. Thanks to all. I could have been happy if you're on your videos, but somehow you're shy to on your videos. Thank you all. Thank you very much. We can still continue. We want to make it a practice that before Pradeep sir signs off, we want to complete this vote of thanks. Thank you all.
No, you should also target to complete in that 1.5 hours time. So today we started at 10:45.
Yes, sir.
So
10:55 we started, sir.
We will complete the 1.5 hours. We will try to
session starting is not the starting is supposed to be 10:45. We started the actual session later. That's a different matter. Our target should be to complete in 1.5 hours from the starting. If you start at 10, then 11:30. If you start at 10:30, then 12. That is how we should plan. And then, then okay, if others want to continue, you're always most welcome to continue. You know. All right. Have a nice Sunday. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for your support.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thanks, Jagan.